Hello everyone, hope you all are doing well. In the last lecture, we saw how charge is conserved and quantized. We also discussed by solving a problem that coulomb is a large unit and 1 coulomb is equal to total charge of 6.25 into 10 raised to 18 electrons. Coulomb's law tells about force between the 2-point charges and it is based on physical observations. Till today, experiments reveal the universal nature of this law. During my PhD, I myself have computed Coulomb forces and have found them in good agreement with the experimental results. And Coulomb's law is analogous to Newton's law of gravitation, where charges are replaced by masses of the bodies. But both the Coulomb's force and the gravitation force are different from each other in certain aspects, like Coulomb's force between charged particles is stronger than the gravitational force. Therefore, when both the forces are present, we neglect gravitational force. Coulomb's electric force can be attractive or repulsive, while gravitational force is always attractive. And as we discussed in our last lecture, Coulomb's force depends on nature of medium. But gravitational force does not depend on the nature of the medium in which the bodies are placed. It is always attractive in any medium. Coulomb's law states that the force between 2-point charges is directly proportional to the product of the 2-point charges Q1 and Q2 and inversely proportional to the square of distance between these two charges. By including the constant of proportionality, we have the force between these two charges as equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into Q1 into Q2 upon R square. But force is a vector quantity, so we need to describe the magnitude as well as direction of this force. And if force is a vector, it has to obey the vector law of addition also. So, it is necessary that Coulomb's law be expressed in vector form. Here you can see how the force on each of the two interacting charges is shown using vectors. We know that like charges attract each other and unlike charges repel each other. So force is either attractive or repulsive. Now note this down carefully. Here F12 is the force exerted on charge Q1 due to charge Q2 and F21 is the force exerted on charge Q2 due to charge Q1. I repeat, F with subscript 12 is the force on Q1 by Q2 and F with suffix 21 is the force on Q2 by Q1. And remember, we discussed in the last lecture that the Coulomb force is directed along the line joining the charges. So we need to specify the direction of the force along the line joining both these charges. For this, we need a unit vector. Unit vector is a vector with unit magnitude. That is, its value is 1. An unit vector is denoted by a cap over it. The unit vector of vector r is r cap and its direction is along vector r. In a 3D coordinate system, we can have unit vectors along all three directions x, y and z with unit magnitudes, and generally they are named as I cap, j cap and k cap respectively. Here in case of Coulomb's law, we denote the separation between the charges by r and therefore its unit vector r cap will be along the direction of this vector r. And this is also equal to the ratio of the vector r and its magnitude. From now onwards, for the rest of this lecture, we will consider two like charges which have repulsive force between them. So what we were discussing is that Coulomb's law in vector form is expressed along with a unit vector as F12 is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 into Q2 upon R square with a R cap. Or if you take in the other direction, the F21 force is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 into Q2 upon R square into R cap. One can find the Coulomb's force if charges Q1 and Q2 and distance between them is given using this form of Coulomb's law in vector form. And one can also find the Coulomb's force without the information of R. If the position of the two charges is given, that will be enough for us to find the Coulomb's force. For this, we need to use the fact that force is a vector, so it obeys the vector law of addition, and we also need to recall what is a displacement vector. Now, consider 2 points A and B lying in a 2D space coordinate system. Let the position vector OA, or the distance between point A and the origin, be R1, and position vector OB, or the distance between origin and point B, be R2. The shortest distance between points A and B is called the displacement vector, and since it is a vector, it has direction. It may either start from B and move towards A, or it may start from A and move towards B. According to triangle law of vector addition, the displacement vector here will be vector AC, and it can be calculated by summing up vector AB and vector BC if these sides of the triangle are not in order with the third side, that is the side AC. In case they are in order with side AC, then the resultant displacement vector has to be calculated by the difference of vector AB and BC. So this is what triangle law of vector addition says. Therefore, in this figure, if the displacement vector is directed from A to B, then vector R2 is equal to R1 minus D, that is the displacement vector, or the displacement vector is equal to R1 minus R2. If the displacement vector is from B to A, then R1 will be equal to R2 minus D, or the displacement vector will be equal to R2 minus R1. Now, if we have 2-point charges in a 2-dimensional coordinate space, and R1 and R2 are the position vectors of charges Q1 and Q2, the vector leading from Q1 to Q2 is written as R12, and by triangle law of vector addition, this R12 will be equal to R2 minus R1. Similarly, the vector leading from Q2 to Q1 will be written as R21, and by triangle law of vector addition, this R21 will be equal to R1 minus R2. Note that this displacement vector R12 will be equal to R21 in terms of magnitude, but they are opposite in direction. Therefore, R21 will be equal to minus R12. So, Coulomb's law in vector form for finding force on charge Q1 due to charge Q2 becomes F12 is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 upon R square with subscript 21 and a unit vector with subscript 21. And for F21, it includes the unit vector which is having a subscript of 1, 2. Note that the subscripts of this force F and R in each expression are written in reverse order, because in first case, force is exerted from Q2 to Q1. Therefore, it is written as F12, whereas R is a displacement vector which moves from Q2 to Q1, and therefore is written as R21. Similarly, in second case, for F21, the expression involves R12. Now we have the Coulomb's law in vector form. Let this equation be A. We know that unit vector R21 is equal to the vector itself divided by the magnitude of the vector. Let this be equation 1. But from triangle law of vector addition, we know that R21 is equal to R1 minus R2. Let this equation be equation 2. Putting this equation 2 in 1, we get the unit vector R21, which is equal to R1 minus R2 upon the magnitude of this same vector. Let this be equation 3. Now putting the value of this unit vector R21 from equation 3 in the main equation A, we get the force in terms of position vectors. That is F12 is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught into Q1 into Q2 divided by the magnitude of this R21. And this R21 is equal to R1 minus R2. So that we have written here, and multiplied by the value of the unit vector which we have calculated in equation 3. Multiplying the denominator, we finally get the value of F12. So, all these equations are types of Coulomb's law in vector form. If the distance between the two charges is directly given, then you can find the force between two charges using these equations. And if only the positions of the two charges is given, then you find the force between two charges using these equations which involve the position vectors. We also should note that if charges are of same sign, the force is repulsive and product of the charges Q1 and Q2 is positive. That is, for like charges, Q1 into Q2 will be greater than 0. And for unlike charges, the force between the two charges is attractive. Therefore, the product of the charges Q1 into Q2 will be less than 0 and the force is negative. What is the importance of Coulomb's law in vector form is that it shows that the Coulomb's force is Newtonian in nature, because it straight away shows that F12 is equal to minus F21. That is, the forces are equal and opposite to each other. And also, this law shows that the Coulomb's force is a central force. That is, this force acts along the line joining the two charges. Okay then, that's all for this lecture. Meet you soon with the next lecture on force between multiple charges. Till then, take care of yourself and keep learning. Bye.